Hey everyone, sorry for the absence. I also apologize for this fan, but I have a tendency to get out of the shower, jump right on the computer, and get cranking on videos when I do videos, which obviously has been a while for the goth channel, but for other stuff that I've done, yeah, it's the same thing. I just jump on, and then I end up getting really hot. So hopefully this fan won't be too distracting. I'll try to put it down as much as I can, but it's really, really hot, especially with this on. Anywho, what I'd like to do is kind of talk about fashion for a brief minute. Obviously, I don't claim to be an expert or anything. I just kind of like what I like visually and what's comfortable and what works and compromises and everything. And then kind of talking about a few other things in general. First of all, I do want to apologize for the absence. There's been a lot of stuff going on in my life. I actually had to kind of surrender my time at the haunted attraction that I always work at. I've been working with them for 9 years now. This is their 10th year of existence, and I've been with them since the beginning. And I've done it for a couple of years before that with a home haunt, and then another independent haunted attraction. And they have me on backup list. If I call in and say, "Hey, I'm free to work today," can you take me? They'll see if there's a spot and put me in, which is very cool. So that way I don't have to actually surrender the whole season. And even if it's just 1 or 2 days, I can still, at least come in for a minute or two. Well, obviously like a night or two, but you get what I mean. So first, not counting about the personal life stuff. There's a handful of things. There's a medical situation with a family member, which I've been really distracted with. And then personal things like work and other things like that. So first, everything is good. I'm kind of making a change and a focus in my life that needs to be taken, and with the family member, it's getting a lot better, and they're improving, which is good. So it's not like there's anything like severe to worry about right now. It's just a lot all at once. So that aside, I want to jump right into this vest. The shirt is it's a nice purple, violet, whatever you want to call the color. I'm an artist, but I'm not crazy into finding the right colors. I find the general, unless it's like a specific, I know, like turquoise or cyan or something. But anyway, it's a purple. I got this actually for a prom ages ago. And the vest is from a company, I think they're still around, Fan Plus Friend, or Fan Plus Friend Garden. I don't remember what the actual name was, but I remember Garden was a part of it at one point, so that might be the website. Back when I got it, they focused heavily on EGL, Elegant Gothic Lolita, so they had primarily women's clothes, they had men's clothes, dandy, that kind of thing, but a lot of the beautiful frilly dresses with bows and fancy stuff like that. They had a lot of pastel goth the last time I checked, which obviously, I don't wear that, but if you're interested in that and if they're still up, which I do believe they are, you can take a look at that. It's very, very cool. They had a lot of good selection at the time. I'm assuming they still do, and in fact, I'm assuming they have more. So this vest was very cool because it has a collar attached to the actual top of the vest itself. And it has a buckle, which is nice because then, obviously you can adjust it to whatever thickness your neck is. If you have, a collared shirt that's like your neck is too big for the shirt, but the rest of the shirt fits really well. I've had a couple of those in the past. You don't have to button the top button. You can just put this on, where the tie would go, basically around the collar. And the button's being covered. That whole top part is being covered, which is fantastic because it makes it a lot more comfortable for the shirt. You can wear a shirt, normally if you're wearing a tie or just by itself, you have to leave it buttoned or you can't wear it if you literally can't close it. But the chest fits fine or something like that. In this case, that's great. This shirt I can button up, so that's not a problem. In fact, all of my shirts right now can do that. But what's really nice about it is that, A, you have that kind of freedom. The buckle, the nature of the buckle, you can shift it if you need bigger, smaller, whatever. And you can still wear a tie under it if you wanted to. It looks a little weird, honestly, with the collar on it and having this kind of gap. It's all up to personal taste. Obviously, fashion is always down to the person's taste in question. But for me, I like it. I like it a lot. In fact, I personally like it with this purple vest or purple shirt specifically. I believe that was actually the pairing that I did back when I got it. Was I put this vest with this shirt, and I think I did have a white tie on over it though. But I digress. This is really cool because the chest has 4 buckles, 4 little belts that buckle together. Behind it is a zipper, so that keeps it together with a very sturdy latching, obviously. It's not buttoned or anything. It's just a zipper behind this. But these are functional, If I want to take this off, You got to undo it, undo that 4 times. So it's very cool because even though it's a lightweight vest, the material is very very gentle, very soft, very flowy. Don't ask me to tell you what it is because unfortunately I don't know. I haven't worn it for a little while and I honestly just didn't care about remembering the material. So I apologize. If you are interested in knowing what it's made of, you know, send a comment and I'll look on the collar. I don't want to take it off right now. The other cool thing, I set back down, is it has coattails. I don't know if you can see that, but it has 2 coattails attached, which is very nice. It ends up giving it a nice, elegant look. Very kind of classic, old feel to it, in conjunction with the, you know, modern, kind of different look of the chest, having the neck collar, having these buckles over the chest. In my opinion, I feel like it does a good job at kind of blending that very classic, elegant, Victorian, fancier dress kind of look with a more modern Gothic look that a lot of people associate with. You know, a lot of people in the general public think of goth. They think of things like studs and spikes and belts, and, you know, having like the pants with the belts and all that kind of stuff, which is, you know, fine. It is what it is. But yeah, personally, I think this is my favorite vest. I do love the other one that I featured in the first video because it has a really beautifully done pattern on the fabric and the majority of it, and it's got velvet. It is also, however, a heavier vest. That one I could feasibly wear with a jacket, but it'd be very hot, and it would also be very bulky. The thing I like about this is it's easy to wear with other stuff because, as I've shown you, you know, with the coattail especially, even up here in the bulk of it, it's very thin. So this is one that you can wear out and you're not going to get hot. This is one that you could wear in conjunction with another vest and it would be fine. In fact, when I did go to the prom with it, I had a very short cropped jacket, like a very old, kind of almost Western style, but like in this kind that you would find in the Old West and Old England, France, probably like 1800s, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, you know, that much higher, high coat. And so the tails trailed out, and it actually, I was a little worried about it at first, but it ended up looking very good, and it complemented it very well. Personally, I'm a big fan of vests, waistcoats, whatever. So for me, I tend to like just wearing a long sleeve shirt, you know, a button-up dress shirt like this, like the red silk one I had in the first video. I also have a much richer, darker red, like a velveteen dress shirt as well, which is also slightly heavier than a normal dress shirt, but you know, it's got that flow to it, so it kind of keeps it airy. You know, it lets the air flow. It's loose enough that you're not going to get too hot. It's loose enough that you're not going to feel overwhelmed by its weight because of the fact that it itself isn't heavy. It's just got a lot of the velvet material on it. But yeah, so that aside, I would like to talk about something else, actually, that I got reminded of earlier, which was goth genres. And it's kind of something interesting because a lot of people, you know, outside the goth community, they think of the goth as kind of just one big thing. Like, everything is just goth to them, obviously. In fact, there's kind of the joke where a lot of people see goth, emo, metal, blah, blah, blah. To them, it's just all the same. You know, they don't know any better. But we live in a world, obviously that aside, because very obviously things like emo, metal, and goth are all very different things. But we live in a world where there's just so many subdivisions and so much individuality among the billions of people on Earth that everyone has different names for things, everyone has their different interpretations. In fact, my brother had this discussion, it was more of an argument with another friend a long time ago because of how many different subgenres of metal they used. And I think it's just very important to remember respect. Like, there's no real need to get up at arms unless somebody's getting at you for something, obviously. You know, don't worry if someone doesn't know about a subgenre of goth or anything else. You know, it just kind of is what it is. I guess the message is just kind of be chill with it. One of the things that I kind of got to thinking about was the fact that on my dad's side, I'm Polish. On my mom's side, I have Yaqui, so like a Native American Mexican kind of bloodline. And I was asking about, what did I ask about? I asked about if anyone had seen a whole lot of like Western inspired goth, not like rock, not whatever, but like more of like a straight goth, but with a Western flair. As opposed to like its own separate thing, because there's a lot of things that are like rockabilly and other all kinds of crazy stuff. But the name escapes me right now. You know what I mean, though. The point is that like, and what I was saying was, have you seen much of it, or have you seen it in your area, that kind of thing. Because for me, I live in Southern California. There's a lot of different people, cycling through. There's a lot of people who have different backgrounds and different tastes, that stay around. I personally haven't seen much of that. I haven't seen much Western influence, like Old West influence, in the Gothic styles of the people I've seen here. And the thing you have to bear in mind is I don't go out that much. I really don't. I spend a lot of my time here, local places. And that's kind of it. And I'm trying to change that this year, and in particular, this is a big year of change for me. But I was just saying I hadn't seen that, and then a handful of people were like, "Oh yeah, I've seen this," or "No, that's interesting. I haven't seen that." Blah blah. Blah. And a couple people, one in particular, I'm not going to name names or anything because it's not important, but someone had kind of gotten snooty about it and was like, "Oh, you're not paying attention then if you don't think this exists or even seen it." And I'm like, "That's not what I said. What I said was I personally haven't seen it. Whether I go out a lot or I go out only now and then, if I'm not ever seeing that particular style or sub-style, it's obviously not as common as, like mainstream things, like industrial, like a more traditional goth, like new goth, like, Victorian goth, whatever." And that's kind of where one of my older topics of just being respectful for other people in the community. Like I said in the first video, I've been goth for quite a while now, since like middle school. And obviously back then, I tried to look at things very humbly, because part of it was I didn't want to get like chewed out and stuff. But also, I just kind of want to learn. One of the things that I value very heavily is learning. I like to observe, and I like to kind of take note of everything so that I can see things clearly and not, misjudge something, which obviously happens. But, I'm basically, the bottom line is I'm doing my best to make sure that I'm in a constant state of learning, and I'm not going to, I'm going to get as little wrong as possible, hopefully, and, get to observe before, think before I speak, basically. And so for me, what I was kind of saying was like, look, I'm just saying that in my experience, I haven't seen it. And they were getting all rowdy, so obviously I didn't respond, and I stopped trying to convince them. I was just like, whatever, you don't believe me, that's fine. I'm not going to waste either of our time anymore. But, yeah, some people will be like that. There's no sense in fighting, because it's just a waste of time for both of you. Some people can't be convinced, they won't be convinced. And, so yeah, in fact, I'd like to explore that a bit more. Not that topic, but different subgenres, and ones that I am particularly interested in, or different styles, different little like personal takes and quirks. So yeah, besides that, the only other thing I'd kind of like to mention is, if anybody did like the painting, the nameless one, literally nameless, the like creepy white figure that I painted up and shared in the first video, I'm going to sell him. I like him, but I kind of just don't really want him anymore. So if anybody's interested, I'll sell him. I don't have a fixed price, so you can probably get him real cheap. I'd like at least $20, but I don't really care if it's more than that. I was thinking like 20 to 35, maybe a little more, because it's like hand painting. But, either way, just get at me. I'm very flexible with that. I just kind of don't really need it. I don't have a place for him. So yeah, I guess that's basically it. If you're interested in the painting, get at me. Otherwise, I will share more of my thoughts and stuff next time, and hopefully more clothes to share. I have an idea that I'd like to do, which is share, not an idea, a plan, which is to share a shirt that I made with my brother's help, actually, using a long sleeve dress shirt, just a black shirt. We cut it, and he helped me with airbrushing, and we put a design on it that many of you might remember. Depends. So I'll save that for the next video. That would be a fun one. And as well as that, I will also share a t-shirt for a more casual look that I attempted to do a customization of it. It ended up very, very badly, although I might have thrown that away. So either way, we'll get at least the one DIY shirt, and I will let you know if I find the shirt. If not, it will just be that DIY shirt instead of the cut up janky t-shirt mess that I tried to accomplish. So yeah, all right. Well, I guess that's it. I can talk. I'll end it there. Thank you guys for watching. I know that this is really kind of in free form because I don't really have a format for it right now, but I just kind of want to share my thoughts and talk because I enjoy getting to share my outlook on things with people. And, hopefully at least a couple of you guys agree with me on some things. And, yeah, just if you have any suggestions or thoughts or questions, I'm happy to address them in a video or in response to your comments. If you have suggestions for something you'd like to see me talk about or anything like that in the video, let me know as well. And if anyone's interested, I will probably keep you guys updated on the progress of my writing because I'm very, very confident in this book project and I'm hoping that it'll be taken by an agent. So have a great rest of your day, guys, and hopefully I will see you very soon. Bye.